Hi. Hi, everyone. Oh, the light is washing out the color of my cap. It's supposed to be purple. Let me greet everybody. Okay. Hi, Annabelle, Cyan, Leah, Marie, Darren, Bangluna. Um, Bangluna is saying that she's sleepy, so she's hoping that the tea is hot and the drama is engrossing. Rebecca. Okay, let me make her my moderator. The Bio Explorer, Cyan, Lindsay, Soap, Soft Soap, Beth, Thea, Namhar, Fire Butterfly, Robin, Beth, Angel Star, Olivian, Chamomile. It's my favorite tea. BTS Forever 7, Romy, TLT, Jennifer, Katie, Maria Luisa. Are you from the Philippines? Eva, Dangiel, Hummingbird, Celeste, Carmi, Lydia, Patty, Eliz, Ariane, BPC, Hand Painted Paints. Someone sent heat. Is it cold there? Bixela, RJ, Rhea, Jean, Dawn, Floor, Chamomile, we like you too. Jojo, Kemuning, Fariza, Owensky, Diana. Thank you for all the likes. Hi, how is everybody? So there's a bit of a confusion. I don't know. So apparently there are three videos for White Christmas. I've only seen two. Is it true that there are three? I've seen the original version of the music video and then the lyrics. Susai, Beth, Beatrice. Uh, there are three. I did so. The third is also uploaded by Bing Crosby or by somebody else or by Big Hit or Hype. I Pablo. There's an instrumental on V. Got it. Got it. Okay. So, all right. I'll search for that because I've only seen the original one and the lyrics. I haven't seen the instrumental one. So, there's some concerns about the succeeding releases of Big Hit because we got Running Wild, and then after 2 weeks, we got Winter Ahead. After 1 week, we got White Christmas, and then we have our RM's new music video, which they didn't even tease us about. So, um, it's so unusual because usually management companies will actually um, face it, right? So it's usually like give it time to marinate and then the next one. However, just want to encourage everybody to look at it differently. Number one, when you're streaming for something, it's not like you're streaming, that's the only thing that you're streaming, because then the application or the app is going to they're going to brand you a bot. And so none of your streams will actually count. Having several things that you stream will actually be better because then you have something to rotate. So I think we should look at it that way. The other thing is that how lucky are we as a fandom that we are getting all this content all at once? I think that only goes to show that the boys really just decided to make as much content as they can prepare for us so that when they're gone, they're continuously releasing the content. Imagine they're 6 months away. Can you believe that? We're 6 months away, almost 6 months away from them coming back. And they're still releasing content where they haven't run out of content to release. So I think that only goes to show how much more they have prepared. I do feel like there's some more coming by January or February and March before the release of J Hope. So I hope that we look at it that way instead of like I mean, there's only so many days in a year. And if you have a group that just keeps on creating content, this, what can you do? This is bound to happen since we are now supporting, I hope we all are supporting 8 acts. So you have BTS and then the 7 members. So it's bound to happen, right? So I hope we look at it that way instead of being negative about it, that Big Hit is actually releasing one after the other. Okay. The Bio Explorer said, I kind of think Suga had some things that might have gotten held back due to the stupidity. maybe, probably he has something for Christmas or something. That's a good possibility. But yeah, I think that's a good possibility. Okay. Mickey said whoever is bored in the fandom is their fault. There's so much content. I know, right? I was just telling my Patreon community that I'm drowning with content. So tomorrow I'm going to be watching RM's documentary. And then I'm going to go home and actually finish watching Are You Sure? And then I'm going to go watch Jungkook's documentary in the series in Disney Plus. There's so much more. And then I'm actually going to go to BTS's Bangtan TV, and I'm going to go to the playlist and make sure that I've watched each of the content. And I haven't even actually finished watching Bon Voyage. I sorry, not Bon Voyage, the other one. So there's just so much that for me to watch, and I want to actually really catch up by the time that they come back in June, and maybe during Christmas vacation I will be able to do that. Although we're planning on going on a road tour, a road trip, not road tour, but a road trip. So by Christmas, I will probably be streaming from someone else from somewhere else, wherever we end up in. But I'll let you know. In the soup, yeah. Season two, I haven't finished. I've finished one. I haven't finished season two. Of course, I haven't even finished V's in the soup, his friend Cation. So there's so much for me to watch. Okay. I like starting off with, and so before we get into the lawsuit of Ador, let's get into Jimin's Truth Untold exhibit. So this was held in the same place where Jungkook's golden exhibit was. So same place, same size of the area. It's just that Jimin's, there were, I think, more like content in Jimin's exhibit because he had 2 albums, and the approach was very very different. When I discussed Jungkook's exhibit 2 streams ago, I think I specifically, one of the main observations that I had is that the chapters were actually Jungkook's main performances. That was the chapters in that served as the chapter for each of the section of the exhibit. For Jimin, the chapter is actually the songs. And I think it's because they wanted to share more of Jimin's creative process and thought process when he was writing the songs. And even Who, which he didn't write but actually thought of. So I thought actually he should have been credited as a producer. But anyway, that's another story. Even for Who, there's a lot of stories to be told, and I think they were able to achieve that end. Okay, so when you go in, it's such a beautiful entrance, by the way. When you go in, this is one of the first things that you're going to be seeing, and then an explanation on the interlude. So they did this per song. You are going to see an explanation for each of the song in his album because he basically had a hand in either the production. Well, I'd say 99%. He was actually 100%. He was involved in in the process of the creation of each song. And as we know, Who he didn't write, but he was the one who thought of it. So they have this type of a board in each of the songs. So the section is actually divided per song. And so of course we go into Face first. It's such a beautiful entrance, I thought. And then you have this floor to ceiling picture of Jimin. And my mom's first reaction is that his skin is so smooth. It's so beautiful. He was really, it's just that, of course they photoshop this thing to correct it, but whatever. But I mean, all photos in an exhibit was actually photoshopped, but his skin, you can just see how stunning it is. So, and then on the other side of that, you'll see another big photo of Jimin. And then here, like a stone. So if you can, I spent enough time to actually read each of the board to make sure that I appreciate what he was trying to do. And I was glad that I kind of got it right, that it was really more, his first two albums was really more about his creative journey. It was him trying different ways, like experimenting what he can really do as an artist. So that was more of it rather than the pursuit of sales or awards or recognition. It was more about him just experimenting, just taking a step back and asking himself, okay, what kind of an artist are you? So as you explore Jimin's creative journey, allow the surfaces in this space to reflect your own self. Observe how your image distorts and shifts with each change in the surface. And this is true. And you have to actually be um, aware of it. Otherwise, you won't get it. Like the different surfaces will actually distort your own looks. If you look at the mirror, if you look at the certain surface, it's going to distort your own look, which reflects what he was trying to experience, what he was trying to say in his albums. Like there are different facets of a person, and whatever is happening in our lives can actually distort or affect us as a person. So this is one example of that surface. So if you come close, you're going to see how your face actually gets distorted. This part, so this board actually changes. It's a moving one. It's a video. So it goes there, and then it ends with his name Jimin. And then there are big photos. So I took, just like in Jungkook's exhibit, I tried to take a close up of each of the photo in the exhibit. So I have more, like I think I have 600 plus with Jimin. And I'm not going to show everything here because that's going to last us like 5 hours. So I'm going to upload it in Patreon and you can just take a look at it. I'll divide it per section. Okay, so but in each one of the things that I did, just like in Jungkook's exhibit, is that I also, as I take a picture of each of the image that they hanged, I also tried to get as much of the details. So there's a tight shot of each of that so that you can actually see the details of each photo, because I know that you like seeing details. So for example, once you go in, there are a lot of photos that are hanged. I took a close-up of each of those photos. That's why I have like 600 of them. And then so for example, so the first space is the interlude, and then we go into Crazy, inspired by the movie. So they told the story on how it actually developed. And then I took a picture of each of the board, but then I also took a close up of their of the image, like the details that I know you will like. I took a tight shot of those. So that's a his tattoo. And then on the back they have this, but I also took a tight shot of the tattoo on his back so that you can actually see the texture. It's so different, like it's not a solid one. I don't know if you can see clearly, but you can see like it's not just solid black. There's texture in the, I guess, yeah, texture, I think that's the right word. There's texture in the actual tattoo, so you can really put your face against the back, the photo, not his back. And then that's a photo. We know where that is. One side is young, and then the other side is forever. So, just like the moon tattoo, this one is not solid. If you actually look at it very, very, very close, which I thought was interesting. I don't know why he did it that way, but and then you go into, and then there are some things that they put there that allowed me to actually really appreciate the picture, if because it's bigger and I can actually really go close into the picture. like that goo on the floor. You can actually see it better in person, but you'll get to see like the amount of detail that in the set. And then he was barefoot. I kind of knew it, but it just didn't register in my head. So when I saw the picture, I was like, oh yeah, of course he was barefoot. And then there are pictures like this is one of my favorite photos, by the way, that they took. I don't know who did the behind the scenes of the shoot, but he should be given an award. This is such a beautiful photo in person. And then you transition, whenever you transition into a new space, there's like a hallway where there are markers for the next song. So for this one, so we're still at Like Crazy. There are the lyrics, some of the lines. I think these are his favorite lines in the song. You can actually see it there on the board. I also took very, very close shots, tight shots of many of the photos. Like this one is another favorite of mine. Tight shot of his hand, of his rings. He has a beautiful, beautiful hand. Look at those cheeks. So nice to pinch. I love this part. I need a way that we can dream on. I think I remember him saying that this is actually his favorite line in the song, actually his favorite line in the entire album. So that's why it deserved its own board. Okay, and then in this part, there's a place where you can just sit down and watch the video that was playing, and it's a summary of the not the documentary, but the special that they uploaded on YouTube. So, okay. And then alone, as I've said, per song, they would do this to explain what Jimin wanted to communicate or why he actually wrote the song. Another great picture, floor to ceiling, almost floor to ceiling. It's so big. And then we go into Set Me Free. Okay, so in one part of the board, all of these pictures here, I have a tight shot of all of that. So if you're in my Patreon, you'll see all of those pictures. This is another favorite of mine because if you go really, really tight, my God, he's beautiful. Jimin is a beautiful human being. That's all I can say. That's perfection right there. And then there are more pictures for you. It is, yeah. So that's him. And then I took a tight shot of the writing on his body. So they wrote something there. And then I know people are going to ask me, like, why didn't you take a tighter shot of the navel? So I did. There you go. That's his navel. Some people found it weird that I was like going really, really close into the picture. But I thought, well, my subscribers are going to want to see his navel. So there you go. That's his navel. And then this part, you can actually see the Nevermind tattoo that he has. I don't know, for young armies here, I don't know if you know this, but when he got that tattoo, there was like, uh, there's like I think a 2 year debate on whether it was fake or it was true. Because people couldn't believe that he would tattoo on his body the title of the song that Sugar wrote. So it's like, no, it can't be true. But yeah, it is true. I think now we know it is true, and you can get a glimpse of that here. Celeste said, Amen. His body is worth celebrating, even his navel. The Body Explorer. It was fake for a while, yes, and then he made it real. Another favorite picture, I just love this angle. And then you go into this section. So I'm not showing you everything because there's so many pictures that I took. As I've said, I'll just upload them in Patreon. So once you finish an entire section, once you finish the Face album and you go through each of the songs, you will see Jimin's diary, which actually has, I don't think this is the actual writing, the actual paper where he wrote his notes, where he wrote the lyrics. So I'm pretty sure this is a scanned one, but at least you'll be able to, well, if you have the album, the Weverse version, then you should have that. But then for here, this will give you a chance to actually look at it bigger, the lyrics sheet that he has and his writing. So on the other side, so that's Jimin's diary. Jimin has written the lyrics and composed the tracks for Face, and his handwritings offer a glimpse into his relentless reflections and thought process. The big screen filled up with letters and words of the lyrics Jimin has carefully deliberated is a mirror to his inner side. So this, the um the the board that he's talking about is on the other side, this one. But this one is actually, it moves, it's a video, it's not a picture. So it starts with that, and I think this is, the writing is follows the the order by which he finished the lyrics of each song. So it goes very, it starts out blank, and then the writing starts happening. So more and more until everything is there. So here, this is the finished product. Okay, and then you can of course go into look at the each of the lyrics sheet that he has and really look at his handwriting. So I didn't put everything, it's just so many, but that's one example. Jimin's belly button is so cute. Faces of Face. So, and then we go into the where you will see his wardrobe. I'm not going to show you everything. So this is, I mean, I'm not going to show you a tight shot of each of the clothing. There's just so many pictures that I took. But what I did is in Patreon, you will see a wide shot of the picture where he's wearing that specific wardrobe, and then a close up of the wardrobe. So that's all the wardrobe that he wrote for the promotion of Face. So there's, I took tight shots of each of those clothing. I didn't even realize that there's like a fringe at the end of the pants. And then I took a tight shot of all of that, so you can see like the studs and all. I love this shirt, by the way. So okay, so again, after that they'll wrap up that section and tell you, just to give you a like a more summarized idea on what Jimin was actually trying to communicate. And then to break Face and Muse, there's the trophies of Jimin. So I took a tight shot of each trophy, and but in the middle, oh, by the way, so there's this, you will see this here, top 5 K-pop songs for 2023, Spotify Wrapped. So that was 2023. So I'm so excited because then he's going to get more for 2024, because he ended up in the top 5 of different cities in the US. And it's crazy that in LA, number 1 was actually Like Crazy. His song from 2023 is ranking number 1 in 2024. And then he got Muse. I mean, he got Who for Others. So I'm excited that he's going to get more of that. And of course, Who is the most streamed K-pop song in South Korea for 2024 as well. So he's going to get more of that. So I hope they do another exhibit. And this is the centerpiece of the wall, and that is his number 1 Billboard Hot 100 for Like Crazy. Again, it's going to give you an idea on what they actually really, I mean, what ranking they really are excited about. So love that. So I did not know that there's like a Forbes trophy or recognition or something, but there you go. This is Mama, and this is Hanto. Okay, so there's a lot more. And then in the center is Jimin's letter when he wrote the letter that he wrote to armies. So it's there. I don't know if that's I'm guessing it's not the actual letter. That's probably a replica or a copy. And then he is using two mics. So one is I think the silver one is the one that he uses when he is with a group, and then the black one when he is solo. So this one is pretty flawless, no missing piece, no missing stud. And then you can also see his in-ear. That's his in-ear. I think this is the actual in-ear that he uses. And then we go into the Truth Untold, which is the Muse. So the first section is La Letra, which is the teaser for his video. This section, this is actually moving. It's not a picture, it's a video. So it opens empty, and then Jimin starts walking in, and then they recreated. What a beautiful face, right? So they recreated the actual room, and you can shoot your own music video. I mean, your own teaser. You can recreate the teaser, do it yourself. My mom did, so I took a picture of her, a video of her actually doing what Jimin did, and then you go into Who. They sort of recreated a miniature version of his music video, the set. Okay. So Rebirth, I don't know why they included. So this part where V was it visited him in his rehearsal, they actually have many photos of that. And then you go into Who, and this is the actuals, not the actuals, the miniature set to represent the set of Who. And then just like the La Letra set, you can recreate or shoot your own music video. The only thing is that there's so many people there, but you're free to do it. That now, for as long as you can't take videos, so you can only take pictures, you can't take videos. Okay, so there are many pictures that you haven't seen, many pictures that you have seen. This is one of my favorite photos of him in the set. I love this photo, by the way. I love the lighting. And then all the wardrobe that he wore for the shoot is also there. And I also took a tight shot of the wardrobe. There is no glass divider between you and the clothing, but you can touch it. And I opted to respect that. So I actually didn't touch it, but I went as close as I could. So in the pictures that I will be uploading, you will see a very, very tight shot of that. I love Rebirth too. Okay, and then there's one section there which was so interesting. So so there's the Esmeralda Garden Marching Band was actually inspired by Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. So they have uh, uh, a section there where it looks like a record store. They recreated a record store, so pretty. And then so I have a picture of each of that photo. At the end of it will be what he wore. I also have a tight shot of that. And then there are headsets. And then if you listen to you can listen to the headset, I mean, through the headset, and you will hear each of the song with just his voice. So you can hear his raw voice. And my God, it's so beautiful. His voice is so beautiful. So I have a tight shot of all of that. That's one part, center part, and that's my mom listening to the one of the records. And then I also have a tight shot of this cassette tape, all of that. That so you can't touch it again. You can't touch it. And then many pictures behind the scenes of the shoot of Esmeralda Garden Marching Band and some of his promotion. There's really a lot. So as I've said, I'm just going to upload it in my Patreon. But one, I think it was interesting that they were able to create two unique approaches into the exhibit, two different objectives. I think, which is based on the objective of the artist, which is Jungkook and Jimin. So Jungkook was very much about going global, and he made no bones about it, and he was successful in that, by the way. But Jimin really wanted to start inside, like he wanted to first see what kind of an artist he was, and so they were able to really present it and remain true to the objective of the artist. And that's why I really appreciated both, because it gave me a glimpse of what they really wanted to do in this phase of their career. And also, like, if you really have a chance to go to the exhibit, please go ahead and do it, because I do think we're just starting to see, they're just starting out as solo artists. And I think by the time that they are done, if they ever are going to ever be done, they're going to be totally different as artists. So it would be interesting to actually witness their evolution. So I think we need, like, as fans, we need to be very aware of what they're actually doing and the phases that they're going through as an artist. Bang Luna, your mom is our model avatar. Yeah, and she loves taking pictures. She doesn't complain. If I tell her to pose, she was like, sure. She actually likes taking pictures. I don't. She loves taking pictures. So she's like, stand in for me. And Shoulder said, so proud of Jimin that he's finding himself and exploring his talent. Yeah. And I think we need to really be appreciative of that. And this is I'm saying this because we're talking about Jimin, but this applies to every member of BTS. We need to be appreciative and very aware of where they are as artists and what they really want and how their actual personalities really affect who they are and the kind of career that they are molding for themselves. Um, I mean, RPWP, as we have come to know based on the documentary, which I will be watching tomorrow, he is in a very, like, RM is in a very, very different place as an artist, very different. And that is the way that he thinks his position as a leader of BTS, that has affected who he has become as a solo artist. And the same thing is true with Jimin, with Jin, with Jungkook. They're all in different aspects of they're just different faces. Like for the, especially for the vocal line, they're just starting out really. Because we know that it was the Young line who actually um, took a bigger pie in the creation of the creatives of BTS, and now they're coming into their own. So those are all, each of the journeys, each of it, they're beautiful. We just need to be aware on how different they are, and that will also allow us to sort of explain it to people whenever, especially those that are unreasonable or trying to pity each member against each other. If we understand their objective as artists and where they are as artists, it will be easier for us to explain to these people that comparing them is absolutely useless just because they're in different places already. Um, okay, so it's so intimate that he wanted to be intimate with us. I'm blown away. Yeah, not just, yeah, intimate, and I think more. This is a heart to heart for Jimin's exhibit. I feel like it feels more like like having coffee with your friend, um, and you just suddenly go into like philosophical and emotional conversation about his life and that's what it felt like he was opening up this side of his emotions in relation to his music. That's what it felt like. Jungkook was more a celebration of what he has been able to achieve in such a short span of time, and Jimin was more like, no, let's just sit down and like let's talk and get to know each other better. I think that's how I will differentiate those two exhibits. And so once, I'm pretty sure that Jin and the rest of BTS members will have their own exhibit, so I'm also very excited to witness and see how theirs is going to be different. Okay. um it's so cool. According to Valentina, it's so cool that you can enjoy this with your mom. Thank you. She has no choice, so just bring her everywhere. Beatriz said, BTS, thank you for sharing. I am always so grateful to them. Okay. Let's see if there are any questions. Act M said, I hope that the exhibits will come here in the Philippines. I hope so too. Well, so it seems that they are traveling because Jungkook's exhibit is now in Japan. Who knows? Maybe they're going to go to the Philippines. Rhea said, thank you for sharing the pictures of the exhibits. They are all far away from me. I'm so happy to see them. Um, Bang Luna said, I don't waste my time explaining things to people who don't really want to understand. That is true as well. If you know that they don't want to understand, don't waste your time. Move on. The Bio Explorer, I have a denim overshirt with Smeraldo Garden Marching Band embroidered in gold. And on the back, I'll share it on Patreon. On the front it has my name and one of my instruments. So I'm in the back. That is so cool. The Bio Explorer, you should really sell your custom jackets. Okay. BPC007, if members respect and support each other, each solo. Oh, I think I lost you. Okay. Um, oh, there you are. I hope solo stands do the same. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but miracles happen every day. Who knows, right? I was actually, there's this classic example of, this is a classic example on how close-minded solos are. So people were complaining about the playlisting of Winter Ahead, that he only got like 45 million playlists or something, or maybe less than that, maybe 10 or whatever. But if you compare it to the playlisting of I'll Be There, and if you compare it to the playlisting of SGMB, it's the same thing. There were so very, very few playlisting. So it's just, and then there's the constant dilemma of them asking for Big Hit to do payola, to pay for playlisting and ads and whatever. And then every sign of Big Hit going doing paid efforts, they complain. So like, what do you really want to do? Do you want them to advertise, or do you not want them to advertise? Like, it's just, it's, never mind. So it's going to drive you crazy. So no matter what happens, they will just, they're just, no matter what Big Hit does, or BTS does for that matter, they will always complain, because they're not really thinking about Big Hit or BTS. They're not even thinking about BTS or their favorite member. They're just thinking about themselves, whatever is going to give them their feeding for the day. Fire Butterfly, where can I share the BTS art I do on Patreon? You can share it in the town hall chat channel. Namhar, a common thread among all of them is how much they miss each other. I'm actually very surprised with what RM said in his Weverse post, when he said that they are becoming closer. They're closer now. They're becoming closer than they were when they were working together each day. Um, Primarily because many people were celebrating when, haters specifically, they were celebrating when BTS started doing individual activities, which actually started the first time. Okay, let me backtrack. Many haters celebrated when BTS announced that they're not living together anymore, which I thought they should have done earlier. I mean, they should have lived apart earlier. It was mind-boggling that for 9 years they managed to actually continue living with each other. Anyway, so a lot of haters and whatever, they're celebrating. Oh, they're not living together anymore, because to them they interpreted, and that they're doing their solo activities, because to them they interpreted that as the start of the disintegration of BTS. And then BTS would come out and say, "Oh, we just got together and started listening to each other's albums," or that they would constantly talk with each other. And then we learned that one person actually spent a day in another person's house or whatever. So they would constantly reinforce the fact that they may not be, that they are now actually coming together by choice and not by force. They're actually coming together as friends and as a group, not because they are being forced together because they live together, but because they want to. And now that RM actually confirmed that they are starting to become closer than they were when they were working together daily, I think it only goes to show how that separation, physical separation of their living arrangement, actually did them well. This has always been my belief, that you can be a better friend and a better artist if you can become a better person. You need to become a better person first. And that them living together, doing individual activities, actually allow them to explore themselves and really improve. And that is why they are becoming better friends, better artists, and eventually, I believe, I am very, very convinced they are going to become better members of BTS. Okay. Jessica said, I was not surprised because they are going through a very different and difficult time, and they seem to cling to one another during COVID. They grew closer in a different way. Yeah, agree. Okay. They they forged incredible family bonds. Diana said, also, I don't think solos will last 2026 and 2027, because right now they still think BTS will only one comeback, will do only one comeback and then disband, which we know won't happen. The Bio Explorer V trolled us through, though, with the comment that chapter two wouldn't be about taking their shirts off. They're starting to put the shirt back on. Although probably not. We just saw Namjoon's music video and he was shirtless. Happy Stan OT7. Now they know each other better. Okay. Cindy said they have to be apart to grow and then come back together and make even better music for Army. I really hope that we get a lot of behind the scenes in the creation when they come back together again, because I really am interested how the dynamics are going to change. I definitely think it's going to change, but I definitely also think it's going to change for the better. It's impossible for them to not change because they have changed as people. And I think everything that they've went through as solo artists will affect who they are as artists. So I think it's just going to be interesting to see how they actually come again cohesively. um, I may be over romanticizing BTS, but I do believe that they're just meant to be together. It's like soulmates, like different puzzles that will forever fit together. Like they're just perfect for each other. No matter how they change shape, they will always change into a shape that will allow them to come together to put together a complete picture. Okay. Fire Butterfly said, just posted my last collection in Town Hall and Patreon. Individual pictures. Sorry, didn't know how to batch. That's fine. Okay. Thus, Sue's 1531 said, does anyone know when RM learned to play the sax? No. I think he probably has been learning for a while now, and then in the military, that's when he really honed on it. Mickey said destiny. It was written in the stars. It was written in the stars. Disha said, RM said in Weverse that he talks to members a lot these days and that somehow they have grown closer than when they were living together. Yeah, that's what he said. Okay, HHK said, as one grows by experience the world separately makes you value their bond, their work ethic and discipline, and express kindness to one another. Okay, let's go to the next topic, which is about Adore. Have you all read the everything? Have you all read everything? Have you read the statement of New Jeans, of Old Shorts, of Ador, of the Korean Management Association, of the Korean Producers Association? And have you actually been keeping tabs with the very, very funny beef that the bunnies are launching against lawyers? So the bunnies are actually fighting with lawyers. Jesus. Okay. I'm avoiding Twitter, so I haven't seen anything. Okay, so I'll give you a brief background on what has been happening. Old Shorts wrote a letter of termination of their exclusive contract. This happened after they did the press conference. In the press conference, they said that they wrote their demands to Adore, and they gave Adore 2 weeks to actually give them the what they wanted. And then when that didn't happen, they said that they were going to terminate the exclusive contract because Adore has breached the contract. So Adore actually filed. So they wrote a letter of termination. It was signed by 5 members, and then Adore filed an injunction asking the court to confirm the validity of the contract that they have. After that, the Korean Management Association released a statement saying this is not valid. Like the determination is not valid, and this entire thing can actually damage the industry. Okay, all right. And then the Korean Producers Association wrote a letter supporting Ador and the Korean Management Association. Okay, so Korean Producers Association is just a group, independent group of different producers, and the Korean Managers Association is an independent group of different managers. Okay, so then Old Shorts again released a statement saying Adore should not interfere with their activities since the contract has been terminated. All right. And then a former employee of Adore released a statement. It wasn't really a statement, it was just social media posts saying that she was being harassed by Adore. And so Adore replied and said that the employee was actually trying to directly deal with a brand instead of going through Ador. And so they launched an investigation. They found out that they have reasonable cause. So they approached the employee, asked the employee for explanation, and everything that the employee was saying went against the material evidence that they have. And so they put her, the employee, on administrative leave and asked the employee to return their laptop. The employee took an hour before she returned the laptop, but it was reformatted. Okay, people, even if you reformat your computer, everything that you have done is still in your computer. So even if you factory reset it, even if you erase it, even if you reformat it, and there are cases that even if you burn it, it will still be there. Okay, the a lot of the data will still be there. Okay, how does that happen? Okay, listen well so that you do not do this for your, if you have any company property in your possession. Okay, listen to this carefully. The hard drive and many of the chips that are actually used in the computer, they're made of gold. Okay, when I say gold, it's really gold, like gold. Okay, so they're made of gold. Gold is one of the most, it's it takes a lot to destroy gold. The melting point of gold is so high that they're actually using gold to protect the machine being used by NASA to produce oxygen in Mars. Okay, so all right, so they're in Mars, so they're exploring Mars, right? They want to put people in Mars. They want to go there. They have the Moxie. They call it the Moxie. That machine is the one that will take air in Mars or whatever that is and convert it into breathable oxygen. Okay. Now, for that machine, when it goes on air, when it travels from here to Mars, they need to protect it because it's sensitive and it can get very, very hot during travel, during transit. So, to protect it, to make sure that it doesn't get destroyed or affected, they created a box that's made of gold to protect that, to protect to protect the Moxie. And they said specifically, you can search this on YouTube. They said that gold is the only metal, only thing in this world that can actually substantially protect the Moxie. That's why they decided to use gold. Only gold can do what gold can do. That is how important gold is, and that is how valuable it is, and that is how unique it is. And so many of the chips that are being used inside a computer, those are made of gold. So if you think erasing it will actually affect it or burning it will actually affect it, no, it's going to take a lot for you to be able to really destroy it. That's why they're able to protect um, whatever is stored in your gold. That's one, in your computer. Second, the cloud. Many of the security features of company issued computers actually automatically save your data in the cloud. And when they ask you to sign something, when they turn over the computer to you or whatever that device may be, those things that you sign actually contain that they have the right to any information in the cloud. So, people, if your company issues you a computer, if they issue you a phone, do remember they can see whatever is in your computer, even if you burn it. Okay. So, this employee is in trouble, is what I'm saying. Okay. So, now where does this leave Old Shorts? Um, just remember that this lawsuit is not necessarily against New Jeans. They're not going against New Jeans. They're not dragging New Jeans to court. They simply are asking the court to formally declare the validity of the contract. That's what it is. Yeah, it is not yet there. So that's what it is. They're just saying, "Hey court, can you please just declare and make it clear to everybody that this is valid, that the contract is valid." What it effectively, while this entire thing is being processed, There are talks that it's going to take a year or even 2 years before the court actually makes a decision. In the statement that Ador actually issued, that statement was actually more a warning to everybody else except New Jeans. They're actually not really touching New Jeans. They're just giving a warning to everybody, brands, companies, suppliers, even platforms. They're telling them you cannot do business with New Jeans directly or we're going to drag you to court. That's essentially what the statement is saying. Try, just try, and we are going to drag you to court. So this entire thing was really to leave New Jeans with no choice and put pressure on everybody else. It's a warning, right? So if you're a company, if you're a talent or whatever, and no one wants to do business with you, guess what you're going to do, right? You're going to have to do something, either file a lawsuit because you're not going to get work. Okay. Now, they may be able to have the financial capacity to actually not have work because they got paid a lot last year. So we don't know. But it is a brilliant move because it's sort of, to a certain degree, Adore is not really directly suing New Jeans. They're not dragging New Jeans to court, but they're also telling everybody else, just don't even think about it. Don't even think about working with them directly. Okay. So now Old Short's move is being positioned by some people as a groundbreaking thing, an unprecedented thing. Is so smart. They outsmarted the law, they outsmarted everybody else. But to the investors and the industry, and this is a nice word that I'm actually using, they're actually misguided because, dude, you're not, if contracts are easy to break, if contracts are easy to break, then everyone's just going to do that all the time. Even, and I've said this example the last time, even a marriage contract, if your partner is beating you up, which is a clear sign, a clear grounds for divorce, you still need to go to court to get that marriage dissolved or annulled, whatever it is that you're going to do. It's no different from this. Even if, for example, we are we have a contract with our phone companies and the phone company breaks their end of the bargain, if they don't have service or whatever takes, whatever happens, we still can say, well, I won't pay you anymore because you're not living up to, you're not doing your end of the bargain, your part of this deal. We still need to go to court and tell the court, well, I'm not in contract with them anymore because they're not doing their part. If things proceed just as what the Korean Management Association and the Korean Producers Association said, if Old Shorts actually just get their way and can just unilaterally terminate a contract, it would result in K-pop being unsustainable in the future. Why? Because then investors would not want to invest because they're going to think, well, it's that easy to actually, for our investments to go away, then I don't want to invest. um, that is why setting a precedent is very important, which I will get to later. The other thing is that there is now a very clear separation between Old Shorts and Mama Roach, which they did themselves. Old Shorts actually made an effort to separate themselves from Mama Roach very, very clearly. That means whatever happens to Mama Roach does not happen to Old Shorts necessarily. So if Mama Roach actually wins her case against Hybe or Adore, it doesn't mean Old Shorts will win. Meaning, if Mama Roach actually wins, it doesn't mean that Old Shorts will automatically have their contract terminated. These are two different entities waging a war against Adore. And it's so crazy to think that this all started with Mama Roach getting caught trying to take over Adore. Imagine that. This is her. It all started with her. She was trying to get Adore. She was trying to take over Adore, and she's trying to get New Jeans out of Adore. And now it became a battle of Old Shorts versus Adore, and she's out of the picture. She she basically kicked her own kids under the bus. Now, if old shorts want to if they want to be able to work and actually directly work with different suppliers, they're going to have to sue. They will be the ones who will have to sue. That's how Hybe and Adore actually wiggle their way out of it. Like, you don't want to sue. Imagine old shorts didn't want to sue in the beginning because the burden of proof will be on their side. So what Adore actually did is to also avoid the burden of proof by not suing old shorts, but they gave everybody else a warning. So now the old shorts will have no choice. If they want to be able to work, they're going to have to counter sue. So then the burden of proof is now back on their side. I think it's like another level of genius move on Adore's end. Not sue the group, because that will mean they will have to have the burden of proof. They didn't sue. So, but they still managed to put pressure on the group. Now, this lawyer Go Sangrok has a YouTube channel, and the talkies have actually been waging war against him because he has been analyzing the entire thing. And he is an actual lawyer, he's a real lawyer. So, of all the many, many YouTube channels that have been doing analysis in this case, including mine, he's actually more qualified because he's an actual lawyer in South Korea. Okay, so the bunnies, talkies, have been waging war against him. So they've written letters of warning against him, saying that if you do not stop your analysis on this case, we're going to sue you. And so lawyer Go Sangrok said, sue me, I'll sue you back, is basically what he said. So he actually emphasized the importance of setting a precedent, okay? Because he said that in this entire thing, one of the major things that old shorts is using as a proof of breach of contract is the internal document that was leaked. Remember, there's an internal document that was leaked, and they are saying that in that internal document, Ador or Hybe is trying to get rid of old shorts. So that, for them, destroying the brand, destroying the IP, is actually a breach of contract. Now, what this lawyer is saying in Mama Roach's case, what she said, which the court actually agreed with, is that she may have planned to take over Ador, but she didn't pursue it. So that is not breach, because she was just planning to do it, but she didn't do it. That's a precedent. The court, when they said she's right, actually set a precedent. In this case, Hybe can also say, we may have planned to get rid of New Jeans, but we didn't actually do it. And now the court will have no case but to actually side with Hybe because they set up a precedent before. So that is the importance of setting a precedent. So if the court says, okay, the termination, even if it is unilateral, is valid, they're going to have to think about how that decision is going to affect future decisions. Okay. The other thing that this lawyer said is, even if the statement ignore it was actually made, it's hard to see that the manager has an upper hand in the relationship because Hani is actually in the higher level. She's earning more. She's actually an IP, while this is just an ordinary employee. So in the eyes of the law, it will be hard to prove that she is putting Hani down, given that she's in a lower level in terms of the ranking in the company. The other thing is that, for he knows this for sure, he said that the case will have to consider how this is going to affect future cases. If they allow someone to unilaterally terminate a contract, future judgment will have to be patterned after that. Because if I'm a lawyer, I'm going to be invoking that precedent like there is no tomorrow. So investors won't feel protected. And given that South Korea actually highly rely on external investments from other companies, they're going to have to think twice about it. This is going to discourage investors from investing in the entertainment company. Okay, now there's a question that was sent to me. Is it true that the court won't prohibit anyone from working and will most likely impose a penalty instead of halting old shorts activities? So, in other words, the court will most likely allow the termination, but they're just going to impose a penalty instead of forcing old shorts to continue working with Hive or Adore. The answer is that is a possibility. There is a possibility the court is going to say, okay, if you really want to terminate this contract, just pay the penalty. And the penalty is not cheap, as we know. Now, there is the case, I've mentioned this before, and several people know about it, the case of the three members of TVXQ who actually sued SM for the same thing, breach of contract. So they wanted to terminate their contract because they said there is a breach. This is the timeline of the entire thing. So they sued, they actually they held the press. Remember, the TVXQ at that time was the most successful group in Korea, and they were also very, very successful in Japan. In fact, I would argue that if it wasn't for BOA and for TVXQ, I don't think I think they would be moving in a very different direction. In other words, their K-pop's expansion to other countries would be much slower. So it was because they managed to penetrate a bigger music market than South Korea. That is why many other groups actually thought of doing the same thing. Okay, so so they said that so they filed the injunction July, and then by October 27 here, October 27, they said that the Seoul this not they said, but the Seoul Central District Court made a partial citation decision on the application for injunction to ban the validity of the exclusive contract of the three members. So in here, um, they actually they they actually said that you can't you can't force the group to not work, but this is far from over, is basically what the court said. So we're going to decide on how to proceed, but allow them to work. That's what the court said. Okay. Um, so things, they said they continued filing cases and whatever. Um, Avex is the partner of SM, which is one of the biggest labels in Japan. They asked Avex to terminate their contract with JYJ. JYJ would be the three members that filed the lawsuit. SM told Avex, you can't sign them because they're still under us. So Avex suspended activities of JYJ in Japan for 3 months, of the three. So Avex basically sided with SM because SM said you can't work with them. They're still under contract with us. Okay. Now this is a major thing. October 11, 2010, the Korea Federation of Pop Culture and Arts Industries sent an official letter requesting that JYJ be restrained from appearing in broadcasts. Now, there is a huge possibility that SM is very much controlling the Korea Federation of Pop Culture and Arts Industries. But it doesn't change the fact that there is an official letter requesting all major broadcasting companies to not work with JYJ. SM files suit against Warner Music Korea for injunction. Does this remind you of something? Anyway, for injunction to ban sales of JYJ albums. So they were banning the sales. Remember, Warner Music Korea is also the label involved in 50/50. Okay, so what happens was that in 11 after 2 years, July 28, JYJ and SM sign an agreement. All those lawsuits are over. What essentially happened was they reached an agreement. So the court didn't have to pursue with the judgment because the two of them just settled. And the settlement is that JYJ will be paying SM until they pay off the penalty. So the answer in relation to the original contract, is it true that the court could say yes, you can break the termination, the agreement, but you're going to have to just pay the penalty instead of forcing old shorts? It is very possible because that's what happened with JYJ. the court said, okay, reach an agreement. You can continue working as JYJ, but you're going to have to pay the penalty. So that's what happened. They kept on paying the penalty until they paid off everything else, which they didn't finish paying off until like several years ago, like 3 years ago. They were paying it off for like 20 years or something. So there is a possibility that the court will say, if you really don't want to fulfill your contract with Ador, you're just going to have to pay the penalty. The thing is that that penalty is very, very expensive. Okay. Do you have questions about this matter? Who is JYJ? JYJ, so TVXQ is a 5-member boy band in South Korea. During their prime, they were the most successful and most popular. I know a lot of people are going to say it's Big Bang. No, Big Bang was cool, but TVXQ was the most popular and most successful. So in 2010, they filed a lawsuit, 2010, something like that. So they filed a lawsuit against SM Entertainment. They were under SM Entertainment. 3 of the members filed a lawsuit against SM Entertainment for breach of contract. They wanted to terminate their exclusive contract. And the 3 members who sued formed a group called JYJ. Okay. But Old Shorts members that have a work visa doesn't that get canceled, and Hani gets deported as soon as contract is terminated. It doesn't get canceled for as long as, because according to Ador, the contract remains, right? They're fighting for the contract to remain. So that means the visa is still being the sponsor of her visa, then she's still legal. Also, there are other types of visas that she can get. Let them pay $600 million. Carl is asking, how has your head not exploded yet? Because I'm so entertained. Just want to let everybody know that even though I am entertained with all of this, I am, of course, very, very conscious of making sure that the humanity remains. That in the middle, let's be sensitive of this, that in the middle of all of this chaos, there are real employees that are worried. And that no matter how unreasonable we think the parents are of Old Shorts, they still are parents, very concerned about their children, and they are just as worried. So imagine if any of you actually have children or has children, then you know how it feels to be worried about your children, even if you know that they're doing something bad. You're still worried because you love them. And so let's just be conscious about that fact. Now, I won't deny the fact that I am very entertained with what is happening. um, will the judgment take 2 years? There were speculations that it might take 2 years because of what happened to TVXQ. The judgment didn't actually come until 2 years after. It was, again, precedent, right? Precedent. It took the court 2 years to settle all of this. So they're saying there's a possibility that it could also last 2 years. How can you not know DBSK? Okay, let's look for questions. Hoan is saying that it's the parents' faults too. I do believe that at the end of the day, actually, for me, I am holding the parents more accountable than I do the girls, especially the minor one, because they were very much involved in this entire thing, obviously. And if there's anybody who we should be counting for guidance, it should be the parents, and they're misguiding their kids. So I do agree with you. And I hold the parents more accountable than Old Shorts. Are Old Shorts parents idols? What are they? This is a question from Belinda. Are Old Shorts parents idiots? What are they allowing Mama Roach using their daughters like this? Did they not teach them ethics and values? I don't know, honestly. Um, when this entire thing began, my stance, which has not changed, is that if that number one, that almost all adults, I'll say all adults actually, and that includes Hybe, they failed New Jeans, because no one was there to guide them. How on Ador's part, And Hype's part, why did you allow this woman to manage these girls? And she started managing these girls when they were young. And for the parents, the one thing you should have thought about is that no matter this chaos, you should be thinking about the career of your children, the career and the welfare of your children. And the last thing you want is to drag your very young children, very young daughters, into a mess against these two people. And then, of course, the Mama Roach is very obvious. So, yeah, so I think everyone failed the girls. That's what I think. Mickey said they were probably kept away from the news. But yeah, I believe that. They're only getting the news that people are allowing them to see. Georgia said, please remember our brains are not fully cooked until we are 25. True. Katarina said, I think Hybe too big, way too fast for them to keep. Um, I've mentioned this in the past, and I just want to mention it again. For Hybe, like a lot of people are asking, how could Bang Shiuk have hired her? And so I just want to reiterate, no one gets it perfect all the time, right? I don't know. Like this is speculation, by the way. I don't know Bang Shiuk personally, but no one gets it perfect all the time. I mean, at some point, no matter how great you are of a judge of character, you're just meant to make a mistake. And in this aspect, he made a mistake. Like it was a misjudgment. He's probably a very good judge of character, given that he was able to put the seven BTS members together, and that the original team that he hired is still there. Like from P Dog to the hairstylist that was cutting the hair of Jungkook, we could see how close they are with each other. Son Sung Dok is still there with the group, so we can actually see that these people that Bang Shiuk actually hired directly are still there. They're still with the group. They grew up with the group. So that only goes to show how good of a character, how good of a judge of character he is. And then, of course, many of the people that he hired to become a member of Hive. So he made this mistake of hiring her. It doesn't mean that he is an absolute idiot when it comes to judging people's character. It's just that nobody's perfect when it comes to these things. I think I'm a good judge of character. I still make mistakes. So yeah. Kano Hanes said, or Kano Hain said, to be honest, at 16, you know right from wrong. Um, Yeah, but you're still not, there's a lot. Life has a way of humbling you, right? Life has a way of humbling you and putting things into perspective, which you don't have when you're 25 or 30 or 35 or 40. So at 16, you're still very hyper focused on certain things. You're still not very careful or you still don't have that wide of a vision when you're doing something. You're not, because you haven't experienced a lot of things, you think that things are easier than they actually are. And then you get your first heartache or heartbreak and you realize, oh, damn, not everybody can be trusted. Or you get fired once, or you get set up once in the office and you realize that your skill is not enough to keep you in the job. You're actually going to have to play politics. So at 16, yes, you know right from wrong, but it doesn't mean that you have enough of a wide perspective to actually make right judgment. Azucena7 is asking, Fairlane, do you think Mama Roach anticipated others in the entertainment industry would speak up in against them, or is this part of the overall plan to take over? Do they anticipated that others in the entertainment industry would speak up in? I so I dated a narcissist, and when you're a narcissist, you actually don't ever consider anybody else but your own point of view. So you don't ever think that you're wrong, even if it is just plain obvious that you are wrong. And it's not because you simply refuse to acknowledge reality. It's just that you do not see that reality that you're wrong. So for Mama Roach, it seems that she did not consider other organizations in the industry speaking up against her because She doesn't have that personality. She just, it's not in her to consider what other people is going to say, what other people are going to say. She's just thinking about her own. Like for her, whatever she thinks and she says, that would be the thing. What about the opportunistic uncle who brokered Davolink meeting? Seems like exploitation all around. But it seems that that uncle is actually the uncle of Herin, right? And it was the father of Herin which leaked the conversations with the parents and Mama Roach to dispatch. So it could be, yeah, I mean, obviously he is greedy, but then that's the nature of businessmen. They're greedy for money. He saw an opportunity. But it seems that maybe when he communicated this, like when he saw the actual general view, then he's starting to realize, oh, shamai, this is not what I thought it's going to be. And he probably talked to the parent of Herin, and now they're having some trouble. So it's so funny that in the statement of old pants, they actually said that they are united, that their group is coming, like they're solid together. And I said that is the first sign that you're not solid. When you say that, that is the first sign that you're not solid. So I do think that there's a weak link in that group, and we're going to witness it soon. Myra Acevedo said that I think Herin might come out like Kina. Could be. It could be. There's a weak link there. I honestly thought in the beginning it was going to be Minji. I thought it was going to be Minji because I felt like her 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 leadership is not always respected in the group, but apparently not. Okay, she's my bias, by the way. Okay, so please watch the music video of V and Bing Crosby's White Christmas. Now, there are some talks about the possibility of this song being V's first number one in Billboard Hot 100, because apparently the different versions of this song is being combined in the ranking. So, right off the bat, V is going to enjoy all the streams of this song, even in the other versions. Now, a lot of people are questioning that because they felt like that's not, like that's, as BTS fans, we know that that's not how they roll. Like that's not how they do things. They get to number one because of their own volition, not because they are collaborating with anybody. If you hear about that, don't pay attention to it. We cannot control how the ranking is happening. Um, if Billboard combines the different versions of the song, then they combine it. It's not like we can stop them from doing that. We have tried actually asking Billboard and the different platforms to combine different versions. They never followed us. So we can't control that part. Um, the only thing that we control is our part, and that is to stream. So let's not pay attention to the ranking or whatever. All I know is that it's a good song. It's a Christmas song, and everyone has all the reasons to play it. So let's continue pushing and promoting the song. So apparently there are three different versions. And let's not pay attention to what other people are saying. Do you get what I'm saying? They're going to use this against B, and they're going to say that if he ever gets to number one, for example, or top 10 for that matter, they're going to say that the only reason you got to top 10 or number one is because it's because of the combined version of Bing Crosby's White Christmas, and you're leeching off his success. Um, there's just nothing we can do about it. Like if it's not our decision whether a version is going to be combined or not. Number two, Bing Crosby's estate and his family admitted, or actually not admitted, but they actually said that it was their idea. So they were the ones who reached out to Big Hit for the collaboration. It wasn't anybody else. It was their idea. So it's not like Big Hit or V for that matter sought him out. It's not like he came to Bing Crosby to ask for a collaboration. It was the other way around. It was the estate and the family of Bing Crosby asking for a collaboration. Whatever, however, other platforms or rankings or boards are actually counting the way, whatever way they're using to count the streams or whatever, there's just that's out of our hands. So let's just continue. Let's just continue streaming. Let's just continue watching the video. Everything is out of our hands. Okay, love the music. Okay, so this is the other version. I did not know. So this is the lyrics version. I did not know that there is a third version. So please watch all of them. This was a post by Louis Pretzel, and he said that this image in the end, they actually made it because during the editing process, they learned that Yontan actually passed away. And so to this was actually so touching. So he said, in the middle of working on this project, we got the tragic news of the passing of Yontan, the beloved dog of V. As the project moved forward, the team came up with the idea of the final scene to show Yontan in the stars in honor of his legacy, to honor his legacy. And I thought, yeah, that's BTS's dog. It has a legacy. So, but I mean, you know that I have my own dog and I am a dog lover. So I thought this was perfect. It's so sweet. Um, Existing psychology said that what I thought there was only two versions. That's what I thought too. So now there are three. So there's the original version, the lyrics version, and the instrumental version. Please stream all of it. Okay, now NME also named RPWP as the 16th best album of 2024. The only thing I will disagree with is the placement. I don't think it is the 16th best album of the year. I think it's the best album of the year, number one. Other things, everything else, I am okay with. So please go to NME and give this a like. You can copy the link and share it in your social media, screen cap it. So, but let it spread that he was named, that RPWP was actually named the 16th best album by NME. As I've said, I think it should be first, but uh, Jimin's Who actually ended up number one in the Spotify Korea, Spotify Wrapped in Korea. So also spread the Spotify Korea actually posted it in their site, so as well. And then surprise, so Around the World in a Day was actually released. A music video was released featuring Moses Sumney. So please watch it. You will like it because in the end he was shirtless. So for those who are very excited seeing them shirtless, then he was actually shirtless in the end. But I think it was also giving us a glimpse of a different side of RM because he was actually with his friends, and the music and the song is very, very beautiful. Okay. Any questions on that? RM's new song Around the World in a Day. Yes. Um, Sakura Kaliko said that Jimin is fetching awards once he comes back. I know, right? I am so excited for him to actually see the awards that he has collected and the records that he has set. Well, for all of them. For some reason, all these big things are happening while they are in the military. Of course, Jungkook also has been breaking records. So I'm excited to have them. Like I want them like during one of their live stream or whatever. I hope someone will actually tell them about all of this and ask them how they feel, just because I want to know, right? I want to make sure that they know. Existing psychology, OMG, everyone watch this video, you'll forget the world sucks. um okay, happy stan OT7 Tekok Sanctuary, thank you for mentioning the vote. BTS Forever 7, he was so relaxed and having fun. He was having fun. The Bio Explorer, they're all making such major strides in growth in their own ways. Yeah. And it's all happening while they are in the military. So that's why I'm very, very excited for when they come back together. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is just a fun thing. About to do next. Please don't cancel me. They're not bad, by the way. None of my unpopular opinion is actually bad. And I actually also would love to hear your unpopular opinion. And this is not all of it. I actually run out of time preparing for this. I actually have about 20 unpopular opinions, but I'll do one for each member for now. And then I'll do the rest in the next live stream. In the next live stream, I will cover the the documentary of RM. I'll talk about more unpopular opinions and if there's any progress in the case of old shorts or Mama Roach, I'll do that. BPC007, excuse me, said that I also have an unpopular opinion. What is it? Tell me all of your unpopular opinions. Tell me. Okay. I love when feeling gets spicy. They're not controversial, or they may be controversial. Do not cancel me. Someone from Earth said, unpopular opinion. The K-pop label on BTS is a double-edged sword for them and for ARMY. I don't think that's unpopular. I think a lot of armies will actually agree with you. I am starting to try and stop referring to them as a K-pop group. I just refer to them as a Korean act, if necessary, Asian act, if necessary, if possible, Asian act, or if necessary, Asian native act. And then eventually, I just want to just call them like artists, global artists. Elizabeth Besco said that RM is in his Bob Dylan phase. Once out of the military, each seven will change and grow so much more. Meep said unpopular opinions were cute when I first found K-pop, and all K-tubers do this. Okay. All right. My first unpopular opinion. Don't kill me. Don't cancel me. Still with you, film. All of Jungkook's self-composed and self-produced songs are superior than any of the golden tracks in lyricism and technical merits. That's my first unpopular opinion. I love all of his songs, by the way. I mean, they're all pop, and that's what he intended it to be. But I do think that everything he has composed by himself, or co-composed and co-produced, they're way superior in lyricism, in technical merit. Um, so it was a little, I mean, not really puzzling to me why Seven and Standing Next to You were bigger hits, but you know, that's how it is. Um, a lot of the I mean, I think we all know by now that one of the maybe the major reason, if not the only reason, that they decided to put some collaborators in Seven and 3D is so that they can get into radio. Everyone that he collaborated with aren't big artists, but they are all on radio, which gives him some edge. And since that is his goal to actually go global, that actually helped. But in terms of the quality of the songs, I think everything that he has written, Still With You, Film Out, especially Magic Shop, they're all superior technically and in lyricism. KR, unpopular opinions for me is only Jungkook. Not interested the other members. Huh? I didn't understand that. Janine, I like the 3D version without Jack Harlow's. I think Jack Harlow is actually the one that destroyed the song. I mean, he wasn't strong enough to destroy the entire song. Obviously, it's a Jungkook song, but yeah, I think the other I would have preferred if it wasn't him. Jennifer Joy, self-composed is special and most unique. I love it, but a lot of work to write. Well, that's true. It is a lot of work. I do think that eventually each member is going to try and take somebody else's song and try it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, at this stage, we have now proven how great they are as writers and as producers and as composers. So I will not take it against anybody, any of the member. If they start to get somebody else's song, I think it's just natural. Apple Bangpo, Still With You is by far the best ever song in JK's voice. Still With You is timeless. It is timeless. Okay, next unpopular opinion. Like Crazy is superior than Who, technically and in lyricism. So, I mean, I'm not angry that Who is has been on the chart for what 19 weeks, going on his on its 20th. But I can't deny, like Crazy is just way more superior in terms of in terms of writing. There is a progression in the narrative. In other words, the story actually progressed from his own thoughts to what he is doing, and then eventually to making a conclusion based on his situation. So that's why the very last line, or one of the last lines that he said, is that I want to find a way where we can all dream on. So that was like, so him like marinating his situation, and then like telling everybody what's happening, and him expressing his emotions, and then eventually in the end saying like, but that's not present in Who. I like the lyrics because it's just fun. And I mean, he was very open about when he started creating music, he said he wanted to create something fun instead of laborious, like something that was just easy. He wanted that because Like Crazy was so heavy. I mean, Face was heavy. He wanted to do something different. And so he went for something easy, and he created a persona. Anyway, I'm digressing. So that is that, all those are intentional. But just me, personal taste as a fan, I do like songs like Crazy. So I think it very much deserved being having debuted in number one, even if it is a non-English song, because it is a superior song, way superior. Okay. Like Crazy is better than Be Mine and better than Who. For me, it's Like Crazy. In Who, my favorite track is Rebirth. The Body Explorer said, I prefer Set Me Free over Like Crazy. So I think Set Me Free is a perfect ending for Face. um Agree, Who is more enjoyable than Like Crazy from a listener perspective. Yeah, which is what he really intended to do. So he, again, all about objectives, right? He intended it to become an easy listen kind of album. um Me, unpopular opinion, Face is superior album than Muse. I agree with you. But again, it all depends. It's all about objective, and he wanted to create something easy, so he's going to create something easy. Ronasilin said, I love Rebirth and Slow Dance. Okay, next unpopular opinion. RPWP is too intelligent for common listeners. This is such a snobbish kind of statement. But I really think it was made for intelligent people. It's not necessarily meant to be enjoyed as it is meant to be understood. Um, I don't think yeah, it's not like it. This takes, like, as an album, RPWP takes a little effort to understand and to actually appreciate, because it's so different. Definitely not commercial. So I've heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's not cohesive. There is no theme," and I'm like, "Yeah, if you don't think about it, if you don't make enough of an effort to think about it, if you have like this was just an intelligent album." It's more cerebral than it is emotional. So I don't think it's really for the public. I'm pretty sure that he knows that. And he went ahead with it, because I remember in one of his interviews he said that he appreciates and honors the fact that one of the things or the benefits of his success as a member of BTS is being able to do any kind of work that he wants to do and not worry about money. So I'm like, yeah, you're aware that RPWP wasn't something that the general public will appreciate. Not even the general public. Like, even if you're like a rapper, still not, or whatever. It's just not for everybody. Okay. Homan said he's got good reviews from critics. Beatrice said, I love Indigo. I also love Indigo. And I think I've mentioned that one of my best kept secret is that I actually play Closer more than I play any other song of ours because I love this song. It's so pop, right? I thought it was a big mistake to not release it as a single because it was so pop. I thought they should have released it, but anyway. Okay, next unpopular opinion. Um, D-Day, you will only be able to appreciate its depth if you understand Min Yoongi's story as a member of BTS and as an individual. So it's a little bit like RPWP in that it wasn't really meant for everybody. It's not something that you can pick up as an album by itself and then fully appreciate it unless you know everything else, unless you understand his story, unless you've listened to his two previous mixtapes. And that is why I was surprised with its success. And I think it's because he was actually able to layer it. There's not superficial, but there's that first layer of meaning in his songs. Like you'd be able to appreciate it if you don't know anything else about his story, just because there's that first layer of meaning. But the real brilliance of the album actually lies in the second layer, and you will only be able to understand that if you understand his entire story. So, and again, this is proof of the different members being in different stages in their artistry and in their life. Because while he's concluding this part of his life, the other members are actually just starting. So, but yeah, it was surprising that a lot of people appreciate it because I thought, yeah, you won't be able to fully appreciate it unless you actually understand the entirety of his story. You love D-Day. I grew to love Suga's rap. He's different. He's different. His flow is different. Um, he's actually one of the most prolific when it comes to flows. Okay, next, J Hope. Hope on the Street actually shows why J Hope could be the most commercially viable in the US as a rapper. Um, because he's been able to create, and because I said commercially viable, I know a lot of people are going to come after me and I'm going to get accusations that I am a J Hope solo. But he was able to create he has the ability to create music that can be used by the most mainstream aspect of hip hop. And he was able to show that in Hope in the Street. Like there's a lot of songs there that can be commercially viable in the US. Um, so I think if he just focuses and actually, and him actually saying the US is a good sign, he can actually break through the hip hop, the commercial hip hop, not yeah, commercial hip hop. Did you all see? Bang Luna is asking. Did you all see that Neuron was added to the Spotify hip hop playlist? Yes, yes, I saw that. D-Day is for fans. Valentina Trindade. Am I correct? D-Day is for fans who know him. Yep. um, Don said, I agree. J Hope would be easily viable in the US. Yeah, I think he is. Uh, commercially, I think he's the most viable of the Young line. I think is the most viable. And I saw that in Hope in the Street. I was like, in Jack in the Box, I was like, whew, that's heavy. But then he came out with Hope on the Street, and I sort of realized, yeah, I think he can make it there. Like the commercial. Now, a lot of people won't take that as a compliment because whenever you say mainstream or commercial, it means something else for them. But it's just that, there are certain types of music that a lot more people can actually get into, and he can create those. Fire Butterfly, BTS Borahe. J Hope did. He said no Sprite, just bubbly. The Bio Explorer D-Day is cathartic, she said. Okay. BPC 0077, but I like in D-Day. Huh? In D-Day. And my last, V will have two careers. I think he's going to have two careers because he's going to nurture two genres. um, he will have that jazz R&B genre, and I think he will be successful in that. Like, it's going to take some time because, as I've said, it's a very cliquish kind of genre, but I think he will be able to capture that. So I think that will be his first genre. And then he's gonna go into something a little commercial, like friends, where it's like funny and light, a little still a bit of jazz and a bit of R&B, but very very light. So I think he's going to pursue two different genres. Disha Jelly, I think Jin is also good lyrics writer. I actually failed to put my unpopular opinion on Jin because I just ran out of time, not because I didn't want to include him. I think Jin is also good lyrics writer. He should hone into this writing skills. His lyrics are more straightforward and not too flowery. Um, my unpopular opinion, I just ran out of time. I'm not disrespecting or excluding Jin. Just want to make it clear. But my unpopular opinion for Jin, number one, there are two. Number one, I think he's going to have some success. How do I phrase this so it's not, so that you guys can understand it more? I think he's going to be pursuing collaborations with bands, existing bands like Coldplay. I mean, that kind of an existing band. Because his music really is geared for band music. So I think he's going to pursue collaborations with them. He, however, has already denied and put down any kind. He actually said he doesn't have any plans in being a member of another band, and he just wants to be with BTS. But I think he's going to have a band of his own, but it won't be a formal band. It's going to be a session band. So I think that's what he's going to be pursuing. He will have a backup band, but it won't be like a formal band. Does that make sense? So when I re-upload this, I will change the I will change the visuals just so you can see him. I just ran out of time. Jessica Moyer said, "I don't think so." You don't think so? What? BTS Forever 7, idol hosting acting genie. He said he doesn't want to act, right? He said he doesn't want to act anymore. The Bio Explorer, outside of music, Jin is really good with business and merchandise. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Um, okay. Tickle's World. My unpopular. Tell me your unpopular opinion. Come on. You must have one. Don't be scared. We're not going to bash each other here. My unpopular opinion. I want. Sorry. Let me go back. Tickle's World's unpopular opinion. I want an all English rap album or EP from Suga. That's not an unpopular opinion. We all want that. I think it's just that what his integrity is going to, what will hold him back. I think he will eventually do it, but I think what will hold him back is just that rappers are supposed to write their own raps. So he's probably gonna be like, well, if it's translated into English, did I actually write that or something? Disha Jet Li. I hope Jen, J Hope, Suga, and RM go more saucy on us armies like Macne Line. I'm waiting for your unpopular opinions. Go. Fishing for Jin. Okay, Jessica Moyer. I trust Jin will not be a part of any other band but BTS. Oh yeah, for sure. I think he said that. So I think what is going to happen is that he's just going to have a session band, but it won't be a formal band. Like, it's just Jin, but then he will have a session band with him. Um, Alwina Willis. Jin can sing any genre and has said he wants to try different genres and is interested in C and W. Also, he is the best at ballads. I agree. Yeah, I agree. In ballads, he could be. Multi-Stan 95, unpopular opinion. I really don't think Jin is into solo activities as an artist. He just do it for fun. Ah, mm, could a little on the edge on that one. I think he does want to explore new things, not necessarily because he's striving for like artistic superiority, but just because. So it's a little of what, yeah, kind of agree with you, but kind of not, in that I think he really likes exploring new things, but he's not in it to be like the best selling artist, or to explore, like to push himself like artistically. I think his basis is happiness, a little bit of that. But yeah, that's a good unpopular opinion. Fire Butterfly said, unpopular opinion, no other artists are overall as talented as BTS. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I think that's just a fact. Okay, looking for other unpopular opinion. Um, Beja, unpopular opinion. Jin is too uptight. Once he allows himself to relax, he will fly. Uptight? Awkward, maybe. Dexter Hua, who I wanted this song from, like, okay, wait. Jessica said, my unpopular wish is to hear RM as a trot singer. That is an unpopular wish. I never even thought of that. So yeah, that is an unpopular wish. Sakura Kaliko. Unpopular opinion, bring back Gamer Jin and let Suga drop a diss track post-military. I need a Woto and RJ collab too. I still have issues with Woto, by the way. I haven't forgotten how he abandoned us when Jin actually created him so that he can leave him with us, so that he can keep us company. And he just abandoned us and became, and just toured with Coldplay. Okay. Existing psychology. I agree with you about Jin. I feel like he thinks he has to do it to keep himself relevant. Mm. Okay. Disha Jet Li. I think Jin is enjoying his life right now after being a kind of parent to the matinee line in the early 20s. He did say he misses the group because he said that, if he, like, if things are hard when the group is there, he can just mess with Jungkook. He specifically mentioned Jungkook just for the heck of it, but now he has nobody to do that with. Okay, so we're coming up on, we're at an hour and 47 minutes. Is there any questions? I would love to hear more of your unpopular opinions, by the way. Is there any other question that you want to, or any other topic you want to talk about? I have to go. Jennifer Joyce said, hope you all have a great weekend. I hope you all have a great weekend. By the way, what are your plans for Christmas? Kona Kano Hain said, I want to see BTS in a dark or gothic concept. But by the way, Jennifer Joy, bye. Okay. Do you think they will do subunits? I think so. I think they might do, they've been doing subunits, by the way. They've done like, um, RM and Suga, for example, did subunits. So they've done subunits. So I think they will continue doing that. Okay, Leia said, I won't say unpopular, but a Suga Jimin'S subunit. I have another unpopular opinion, but people are gonna hate me for this. Like, well, the solos are going to hate me for this. Oh no, this shippers are going to hate me for this. I think I think Jungkook and Jimin should have a unit song. Because of their show and because they both have number one Billboard Hot 100. So it's like commercially, when they did not have a track like an OST for Are You Sure? It's like, are you serious? You didn't do a track for that. You have two members that have number one in Billboard Hot 100 and you don't have a track for this. I'm like, come on. um, Georgia said, I see Jen having his own farm and doing BTS on the side. He might have a sandwich shop on the side. That is true. That is true. Um, I honestly think he's actually like, because Jin hit, he would be perfect. Patty, RM, and Jimin said they wanted one. Yeah, a unit song. JK and V, excuse me, JK and V have great tones together, so that makes sense. Yeah, I mean all of them have to, but yes, JK and V for sure. The Bio Explorer, their voices go really well together. Love them singing in the car together. I know, right? Okay, Busan Boys. All right, looking for other questions. HHK, didn't JK and JM already say they wanted to do a song together? I think they did, yeah. And by the way, I'm waiting for Jimin's cover of Seven or Standing Next to You. I know that. I mean, in Are You Sure? Jungkook actually asked him to do a cover, so I'm waiting for that. Okay, looking for other questions. Unpopular Dexter Hua. Unpopular opinion: V should work with RM and let him produce his next album. Nobody else. Singularity is a work of art. You know what? That's going to be perfect. That is going to be perfect. He should allow RM to produce. Not well, not really produce, but like compose, like write songs for him. Alwina Willis, or they can co-write. They can co-write. Alwina Willis, unpopular opinion or not, I think Jin and J Hope would be a great unit. They sing well together, and they just jive well together. Like as a pair, they just jive well together. So I think they definitely should have a unit song. Sakura Kaliko, I need a Busan duo and Daegu duo as subunits. Would love that. Um, Jessica Moyer, I would love to see JK and V do a rap unit song. Bea Bonilla said or Bonilla. My unpopular opinion is that the company does play favorites there. I said it. I don't think they're playing favorites. I think when you're a business, there are just some things that you know are just more viable in certain aspects. Like for example, and this I mean in all sincerity, I wouldn't I wouldn't throw Jimin in a hip hop concept, right? That's doesn't make sense artistically, commercially. It just doesn't make sense. Um, at least not yet. I would, or probably ever. You know, just that uh, I might allow him to do it if he wants to do it as an experiment, but like to plan like an entire, things like that. I wouldn't throw I wouldn't throw RM to do an all ballad album. No, actually, I would. RM, I can actually see him in ballad. Um, yeah, I actually see RM in a ballad album. But I guess you know what I'm trying to get to. There are just some things that are more viable than others. Like maybe going back to Jimin, for example, maybe in the future when he has like once he has explored his artistry and just for fun he wants to do a hip hop album, probably I'll do that, but not as a priority. So um I know a lot of people are having some issues about complaining about the kind of support that Jungkook received when he was promoting. And then there are, of course, Jungkook solos that are saying that he's actually not getting the kind of treatment that he should deserve or whatever. But do remember that each member actually wanted different things in their careers. I think I think this is just my opinion. I don't know them personally, but I think RM won't be good. Like he won't like that kind of a direction for himself because he is in a different state of mind as an artist. But I think in that time, if that kind of a promotion was offered to RM, I don't think he would go for it because he was just in a different headspace. So that is the answer. I think we're just all expecting that everything will that everything has a template. It does not. Like their promotions have different needs. Each member has different desires and wants and ways of doing things, and that actually in the end affect how they're promoting. I also think that circumstances could get in the way. Like maybe each member would like to do something, but then because of circumstances, even though one of the members was able to do it, the other can't because of certain circumstances. So I don't think it's about favorites, especially because of BTS. I think it's about us not fully understanding how things are done there. The other thing is that I think it's going to be totally unreasonable for Big Hit or for Hybe to not give each member the kind of promotion that they want, because each member of BTS is outperforming all the other artists of Hybe commercially and artistically at this stage. So, I mean, if I'm Hybe, I'm like, why will I not give them everything that they want, right? So that's my take. I hope I was able to express it um, succinctly and clearly. But that's how I see it. Now, is it possible that some members are actually feeling slighted? Everything is possible, but um, I think their contract is structured so that they have an out anytime that they want. And I think that if it gets to a point where they are unhappy in the way that they are being treated, I strongly believe that they will make a move and just leave. I think at this stage they are past that point where they feel that if they leave Big Hit, it's not going to work out anymore because they know that they're all successful. So I don't think anything can stop them if they want to leave. Okay. Don said, I feel RM likes to be more home based with his solo work. Someone from Earth said, whose collab outside of BTS members are you wishing, dreaming of? Whose collab outside of BTS members? You mean another artist that they will collab with? Is that what you mean? Hoan, Bree, speak 251. I agree. Jin is smart and wise. People don't watch his interviews besides the funny stuff. The Bio Explorer said, I think they would work to fix it before they would just leave. Yeah. Oh, definitely for sure. But what I mean is, if they've gotten to that point where when they are not happy anymore, I think they will just. I don't think they're the type of people that would stay in a situation that is not healthy for them. I think we owe them more than that. I mean, it doesn't mean even if they leave, for example, Big Hit, doesn't mean that that's the end of BTS, right? So Mary R said, Suga said on Suchuita that each member was in charge of their solo project, what promos they want to do, etc. Angela Star, this is what I think though. I do think that the management or the members get everything right all the time. I don't think they are perfect. I think there are some things that they felt, oh, I should have done that. I didn't, or I shouldn't have done that, but I did. I don't think they're perfect. So some of the things that we feel, oh, why did he do that? Like, or whatever, or why didn't they do something? They probably are thinking about the same thing. Just that's just how it is. Nobody's going to get everything perfect all the time. Leah said the guys aren't given enough credit. However, I perfectly just want to say to that person who said that she or he thinks that the company has a favorite. I think it is perfectly natural for us to be worried about our favorites, um, and by hook or by crook. Not really, no. By for I mean that is part of the strength of armies, that we're very very proactive in protecting the boys, right? So I think that's natural for us to feel that my favorite is not getting the same treatment that the others are getting. I think that's natural. And for as long as we're porting it in the right way, in the right activity, I think it should be fine. Instead of Annalise asking, can I ask you something? Yes, you can ask me something. So for as long as we're like channeling our energy into something that will benefit our favorite, then that should be okay. Okay, so we are going. in our second hour. I will wait for Annaline's question. Do you have any? V doesn't get the same promotion the other members get. I've addressed it already. But Sonia, as I've said, for as long as you like channel your energy and your frustration into something that will benefit V, just yeah, just make sure that you're channeling your energy into something that will benefit V. Stream, promote him, help in promoting him, things like that. Rachel said, yes, V is really good, and I can certainly see him growing and blowing up bigger. He will. I have absolutely no doubt that he will. Someone from Earth, unpopular opinion, because BTS doesn't do payola, collab with other artists, especially Western, is limited. You could be right. Okay. One more time, guys. Connor Haynes said, one more time, guys. We use time. Sorry. One more time, guys. Use incognito tab for unlimited votes on BBMA 2024 Best Fan Army Poll. It is glitchy any other way. Clear incognito tab after each vote and vote again. Okay, that's a reminder from Kona. Okay. Um, LK said, I feel that Big Hit is getting lazier and cheap and just let Army do the hard work. Um, no, it's a business, LK. I think, and it's a business that produced a conglomerate. So lazy is the one thing that you're not going to be. They know that their cash cow is BTS, so they may be lazy in other group but not in BTS. We do need to understand though that I've actually said everything that I was going to say. So that is my response. Like from an objective point of view, like it isn't. I own a business, and if I have a cash cow, I might be lazy in everything else, but not on my cash cow. Okay. The Bio Explorer said, I love that the members are the ones that decide what promotions they do. So if you think one of them needs more, take it up with them. Fire Butterfly, notice anytime the company has prohibited, it was a mutual agreement based on supporting data. That's the reason for why not. BTS Forever 7, do away with negativeness. Remember, BTS and Big Hit is one always. Okay, so was it Anna who was going to ask a question? I don't see your question, and we're going up on, well, we're past 2 hours. I don't want to hold you up, guys. I know that it is the weekend and you have things to do. So I want to stop comparing members so your life will be happier. Yeah, it's actually one of the first things that I said in this specific live stream, that each member is in a different stage in their career, and they also have different objectives, definitely different genres, different markets. So we can't expect that they're all and they're different people. So we can't expect that they're all promoting the same way and wanting the same way. I think we just need to. And then the other thing is, I perfectly understand people that are saying that Big Hit is not doing that, Big Hit is not doing this, that, or whatever. I perfectly understand that. And I think the best thing to do for us is to actually channel our frustration into something that we know will benefit our favorite. Anything else, I think if all we do is complain and not do something about what we're complaining about, then we're just adding to the problem instead of contributing to the solution, right? So if you're frustrated about something, then let's just make up for it, right? Let's just make up for it. And it is what it is. The group is signed with Big Hit. Each member decided individually to re-sign with Big Hit. So, and each member we know is in that stage of their career when they know their value and their worth already. If they want to leave, their contract is structured in a way that if they want to leave, they can leave. Um, the mere fact that they are staying means that they want to stay, and we need to respect that. And they must have their reason for staying. In the same way, they probably have their reasons for doing the things the way that they're doing it. It was Jimin's choice to work with the same group for his first album to his second album. It was Jungkook's choice to actually do an album and work with all of his producers and just receive songs instead of writing them. It was RM's choice to delay his enlistment so that he can get RPWP done. He needed it. All of those were their choices. So we're just gonna have to respect that. Anything, and if there is something that we don't like about it, we should be asking, we should be taking it up with the members. We should be doing something about it so that we can make up for what we think doesn't help. But more importantly, let's be careful of what we say, because what we say can reflect back into the members. I see a lot of people that are saying that, I think, like for example, I think it's stupid that that Jimin didn't perform in this or that. And I'm like, what if it was Jimin's choice to not perform? Are you calling him stupid? So think about what we say will reflect, how that is going to reflect to the members. I heard somebody saying that they think it's so cheap. Was it cheap? Was that the word said? Oh yeah, like, oh, it's so cheap, and so, oh, that they're abusing Suga, that they're abusing Suga for asking him to do all of this content for them. Like he had a documentary, then he had a series and whatever. And I'm like, so if it was Suga's choice, are you saying that he's abusing himself? Like, be careful, because a lot of the things that we are saying can reflect back into them. Be careful of what it will imply about them. um so it's better to be careful of the criticism instead of just allowing the anger to take hold and to control our what we say. Always remember that if we claim that our priority is BTS, then we need to think about those things too. Okay. um if JK, BTS Forever 7, if JK wrote all the songs for his album, we need tissues. I get what you're saying. BTS Forever 7. Okay. Hoan Yoon, I think some still treat them like puppets of the company. Kona Hain said, I believe Big Hit is separate from Hybe. It is separate from Hybe. They're not under Hybe. So it's a sister company. Fire Butterfly, BTS decided on their own promotions. And I've said this, okay, so someone actually left a comment. So I always say, like, do you think BTS will allow, like, for example, if you really, do you think BTS is the kind of group that will allow themselves to be mistreated? And they were like, someone said that no, like when it comes to bullying and abuse, anybody can be a bully and abuse. And I definitely agree with that. Like when somebody bullies anybody, 100%, 100%, the fault is on the bully. Let me make that clear. Anybody who abuses anybody, anybody who hurts anybody, it was the one who abused or who hurt somebody. 100% of the blame goes to that person. Absolutely. For sure. If anybody mistreats you, 100% of the blame goes to the person who mistreated you. You have nothing, you have no fault in that. Okay? So, case closed. Now, if you are being abused, especially if you're like very much an adult already, you should also hold responsibility to yourself to not allow yourself to be in that situation. So get out of it, right? Especially if you have the resources to do so, get out of it. Do not allow people to continue mistreating you or abusing you or bullying you. Do not allow that. Do something about it. And the truth, as painful as it may be, is that there are some people who just likes the drama. They like being abused. They like being bullied. I don't know why. But if you're an adult, you have the resources, get out of it. Get out of it. Now, it's not your fault that you're in that situation and that they're abusing you, but get out of it. So BTS is in that situation when they have the resources to actually get out of it if they are not getting the treatment that they want. That is why I'm saying I do not think BTS members are the kind of people that would allow themselves to continuously be in that situation. I think they have If they are being mistreated, absolutely not their fault, absolutely not their fault. But I also believe that they are going to do something about it. I think they love their parents enough to know to not get themselves in that situation. I think they love each other very much to not allow other members to get into that situation. And I also know that they are smart enough to know how to get out of it. So I hope that that is clear. That two things can be true at the same time. Phaedra, how did I miss this? Hi, Phaedra. We're about to end. Urban squirrel, Sugar got bullied into dancing. He got tricked by two middle-aged men. How does that happen? First by Bang Shiok when he was told that he was not gonna dance, and then by Sai. He ended up actually collaborating as a featured artist in the song. Um Anna Anna Lee, please clear my mind. Anna Lee, were you the one who said that you were going to ask something? I did not see your question. Can you at me so I can see your question? I did not see your question. Maybe because I was talking too much. I just didn't want to be misunderstood. I don't want you guys to think that I'm victim blaming or that I don't do that or that I'm whatever. Anna Lee, yeah, I did not see your question. Can you please at me and repaste your question? So yeah, so I definitely I don't gaslight, I don't do victim blaming, not definitely not. I mean, I was bullied as well when I was in high school. I also got bullied when I was in when I was a young when I was starting to work. So just I know how it feels. So I definitely don't will definitely not put that on anybody else. So just want to make it clear, somebody bullies anybody, somebody abuses anybody, 100% of the fault goes into the bully or the abuser. 100%, no questions about it. Case closed, period. Put that away. Okay, just want to make that very 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 clear. Okay, actually there's just one example someone used that I think was very appropriate. Like, for example, if you know you're going to like a place with high crime, high crime rate, for example, um, and you decided, okay, I'm going to go there. So if you go there and somebody robs you, for example, or shanks you, or whatever, the the fault 100% lies on the person who robbed you. You absolutely don't have any fault on that. Thank you, Phaedra. Thank you for educating us. So you definitely don't have 100%. You do not have any fault in that 100%. But then also, when you're going to go to a place with high crime rate, you probably shouldn't be waiving your $100,000. All like you're inviting them. Is it your fault if you waive it and they rob you? Is it your fault? Definitely not, but you shouldn't also be doing it, right? So two things can be true at the same time. Um, Georgia said, but disagreeing with someone is not bullying. Correct. So Anna, I really can't find your question. You're gonna have to type it again. If you want, you can at me if you want to get my attention. Yeah, I can see your question. All right. We're coming up 2 hour and 13, about 2 hours. So Rare, same. He did the hardest choreo soloing and never put it on video. Jin gets praised. Breeze speaks 251. Jin gets praised by critics, gets standing ovation for his performances. Talk about how much he loves music. Armies just see him as a young. Think he doing it just to stay relevant. um, Juveline. Thank you, Miss Fairlane, for being the voice of reason in all the chaos. Take care always. Thank you. Okay. Thank you everybody for joining me. I hope that you have a great weekend. If you have questions, don't if you want to clarify anything, don't hesitate to reach out to me and I will try to address it in the next live stream or through a video. Phaedra said it's bananas that old pants double down on cost. I said so. Yeah, it is. Um, Meep, Phaedra, their adults really have failed them. Okay, so thank you for joining me. Good night, everybody. Have a happy weekend. I'll see you in the next live stream. That will be Tuesday. I will be live streaming from the desert. So I will let you know what I'm doing. So thank you. I appreciate everybody for being here. And do you want a recommendation, a new song recommendation? Or maybe I'll do it next time, huh? Actually, One OK Rock released a music video. So if you want to check them out, please go ahead. They just released. So One OK Rock is the collaborator of Jin. If you want to listen to their new song, please go ahead. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Bye.